All right, let's go ahead and get started. Looks like we have a couple more attendees that just jumped on the phone call. So as I mentioned, good morning and welcome to Oakland County's Virtual Manufacturing Day 2021. My name is Vlad Lebedincev. I am a K-12 career readiness consultant with Oakland Schools, and I will be hosting this session today. Thank you all for joining us this morning, and we're so excited to share with you some of the most exciting opportunities there are in the manufacturing industry. Today, you're joining over 1,000 students virtually during Oakland County advanced manufacturing facilities. These high-tech companies aren't the dark and dirty facilities of old. They are highly automated, using the most up-to-date technologies. They're computerized, clean, and brightly lit. They are staffed with people from a wide range of interests and skills, and they often work collaboratively in teams made up of a cross-section of careers such as quality control, engineering, logistics, assembly, project management, maintenance, operators, robotic technicians, computer programmers, and many, many more. You'll find out more about what those positions are soon. You may be wondering what to expect from this virtual event, and here's how it's going to go. So first, I'm going to play a video here shortly with opening remarks from our Oakland County Executive, David Coulter, and Congresswoman Haley Stevens. Next, you're going to have a chance to hear from Atlas Copco staff, specifically Will Palumbo, who's on the call here today, and then Lauren Farmer. And then we will have the opportunity to learn about their career paths, how they got to where they are today, and learn about the exciting products and services their organization works on and offers. And then finally, closer to the end of the session, it will be your turn. So we'll open it up for questions and answers, and then we will be using the raise your hand feature of the GoToWebinar software and answer as many questions as we possibly can to help you learn about about the company you're touring today. So quickly, a few housekeeping items. So our program is going to last about 1 hour. To see video and images full screen, click your enlarged box at the upper right portion of your screen. And these sessions are recorded, so if you would like to see them again, they're available through the end of the year, or for teachers to provide them to another class that maybe weren't able to join us today. Basically, they'll be able to log into our website at oakgov.com/MFGDay. And as I mentioned, if you have questions, please use the type your question or raise your hand feature, and then we'll get to it there. All right, now it's time to hear from Oakland County Executive David Coulter. All right, great. Thank you, Oakland County Executive David Coulter and Haley Stevens. We're now going to give the opportunity for the team at Atlas Copco to introduce themselves and start their presentation. But just really quickly, I do want to play a video just to give a little bit of an introduction of Atlas Copco. All right, at this time, I want to turn it over to Will Palumbo.
Okay, so hello everybody and happy Manufacturing Day. Thank you for joining us today at Atlas Copco Tools and Assembly Systems here in Auburn Hills in Oakland County. And so my name is Will Palumbo. I'm the marketing director here at Atlas Copco. I've been with the company for 14 years now, so it's been a while, and it's a great place to work, and I'm glad you're showing some interest in joining us here today. So I have some tools and stuff behind me. We're going to talk about those a little bit later, but before we do that, I just wanted to explain a little bit about who Atlas Copco is and what we do here in Auburn Hills. So starting with our company, you saw in the video, we were founded in 1873. We're now a global organization. We're in over 180 countries with over 45,000 employees. And you can see the number there. We do a lot of business here in, all around the world. What we do specifically in Atlas Copco in Auburn Hills, though, is we're part of a division of Atlas Copco called Industrial Technique. And we are really, really focused here on the business of assembly. So you can see all the different segments that we get into here in terms of assembly. So really, what we're focused on here is screw driving and screwing things together and bolting things together. And you can imagine pretty much anything that you use in your day-to-day life that has screws in it. We make components, or we make tools to assemble those together. So I have a few examples here. Here's a lot of examples, but a few specific examples to give you a sense of some of the products that we work with here and that we manufacture. So all of you, I'm sure, who are watching this have a smartphone. And here's a question for you. Did you know that the modern smartphone, well, it's got a bunch of screws in it, and it's actually any smartphone that you're working with could have up to 70 screws in it. And when we're talking about smartphones and electronic devices, we make tools to assemble these. I mean, some of these screws are so small that you can't even see them with the naked eye, or you can barely see them with the naked eye. And we make very, very small screwdrivers to assemble those tiny screws. Here's another example. How many fasteners are needed to assemble a modern passenger jet? And it's a lot. It's over 3 million fasteners. If you ever fly somewhere, you get on an airplane, that airplane has over 3 million fasteners in it holding it together, and we make the tools. You can see in the picture there, we make the tools to install those fasteners into the airplane. Last example here, very close to home, vehicle assembly. Obviously, this is big business for us here in the state of Michigan, and something that we are very, very focused on here. And this is a big business for us at Atlas Copco as well. And you can see all of the different types of fasteners and products used to assemble a car. 2,500 rivets to hold the frame of the automobile together, 160 meters of adhesive, of glue basically, that are holding different things together in the car, 500 safety critical bolts. So safety critical in our business means that if that bolt comes loose and fails while the car is working, somebody could get hurt, potentially really badly. So this is really, really important to our customers, to the car manufacturers that are putting this together, that every single one of those bolts is assembled correctly. And then the last thing that we have here are flow drill fasteners, which are also used to hold the frame together. So a lot of different things used to hold the vehicle together. And all of these products that you're looking at here can be installed with Atlas Copco tools. So that's really what we do. We help our customers figure out the best ways to put their stuff together, and then we provide them the solutions, tools, software, automation equipment to allow them to do the assembly that they need to do. So that's really our business in a nutshell. Oops, hold on, I screwed something up here. And we're really, really good at it too, is something that's cool about Atlas Copco. Every third car in the world is assembled with Atlas Copco products and solutions. So 1 out of every 3. And many of the automobiles that you see here driving in Detroit are assembled by our tools. And so that's something that we're very proud of, and something that hopefully someday some of the people on this call will be able to be a part of as well. So I've got some more stuff to show, but before I do that, I am going to, if I can get my mouse figured out here, I'm going to turn it over to Lauren, who's in our Human Resources Department. She's going to talk a little bit about opportunities at Atlas Copco.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining for Manufacturing Day 2021. We have so many exciting opportunities for you, either now, in the future. So I want to talk about those. I want to talk to you a little bit about what makes Atlas so special from the employee standpoint, and what they provide for all of us here. And then I want to talk about what kind of people are good fits for Atlas. So first, our global internship. This is one of the ways to get started with Atlas. This is going to be in our corporate positions most of the time. So we bring students in, we have them work with students across the globe, work on large business products, and really get them integrated into the company, with hopes at the end of that of either moving forward into a full-time position, or at least learning more about manufacturing and how they might be able to fit in, because there's so many opportunities. So the other way that you can get started with Atlas would be getting right into a career path. So you can start, the way Atlas works, where we have a lot of our entry-level positions, would be in our service sector. And that's sometimes what people think of when they think of manufacturing. They think of that technician work. So many openings for that right now, really across manufacturing. So you can start in one of those, starting as a technician, quality control, on-site technician. You can start as a specialist. And really what we're looking for at Atlas is someone maybe with some mechanical aptitude, someone who tinkers, if you work on your car, if you build computers, if you work on robotics at all, any of that, especially the way that we're moving, is incredibly helpful. So it can be, you know, the hands-on technician work, it can be more work on computers, databases, networks, all of that is extremely helpful. And I think there's potentially a misconception about manufacturing and who could go into it, or what interests best fit with it. And really it's just continuing to expand. So there are so many opportunities for so many different backgrounds, depending on what you want to study, or again, if you want to get right into the workforce. So again, just looking for some kind of mechanical aptitude, some kind of interest. We have a really robust training program with Atlas where we teach you about our tools, and Will is actually over in our demo room. He'll go over some of those with you so you can start to see. But if you have the ability to learn and you have the right attitude, then we can usually get you there and get you a great career started with manufacturing. So the other thing I want to talk about are the types of candidates that are great fits for Atlas and what Atlas is looking for. So I am in human resources, as Will said. I'm our recruiter for industrial technique. So we're going to be looking for a couple facets across any positions that we hire for, because it's how Atlas works. So Atlas loves candidates who are used to working autonomously yet collaboratively. So we hire great people to do great work, and we let them do it. So for a lot of people, that's different than what they might think of from, you know, the traditional workforce, but really empowering our employees to do great work, to reach out if there are questions or they need support. There's absolutely a structure for that, but it's not going to be breathing down your neck and micromanaging timing and things like that at a very basic level throughout the day. So letting people do great work there, looking for autonomous people, looking for candidates, honestly, who are just ready to take on their career. So they're ready for the next step. Even if you don't know what that might be, that's something I can certainly help you figure out. If you're working, if you're currently in high school, your guidance counselor a lot of the time can help with that as well. But that's something that we can help you narrow down, which brings me to my second point, which is the benefits with Atlas and what we have to offer. So some of that is going to be the career pathing. We rolled out a new program recently where we help students or candidates who are just getting into manufacturing, or might have their first entry-level position with us, really decide on where they want their career to go. I know when I was in school, even when I was in grad school, I wasn't completely sure on what the best next steps were or what the options even were. So Atlas definitely helps lay out, if you're in this position, here are the next steps to get to this role. You can go over here. Here are the steps for that. And really helps give you a lot of confidence in the decisions that you're making, and puts the decisions in your hands. So that's one of the big things I like to talk about. I like to hit on a few other high points. We do have tuition reimbursement. So if you're not sure if you want to go to college, or if that's what you want to do in college, tuition reimbursement's great. You can start with a position with us. We have positions nationally, like I was saying, there's so many openings. But you can start with a position with us, get a feel for what manufacturing's like. Maybe you don't like the technician hands-on piece. Maybe you think, I want to go into logistics, I want to go into sales. We can really help you build your career there, and then help you get the necessary degrees, certifications for that. So you'll really continue to thrive at Atlas. And then we have other things that are standard, but maybe a little bit more. So I was talking about how Atlas was really focused on their employees. So one of the things they do have, of course, maternity leave, they have paternity leave, they have leave for if you adopted a child. So this might not be something you're thinking about right now, but in the future, things that will be important to you. They have a great health, dental, vision plan, things like that as you start to come off your parents' plan. I do remember those times. So that'll be something that's important. And then thinking about 401k. So Atlas has really nice 401k matching, which is something, you know, we all need further down the road, but something we want to start proactively now. So really that's what I wanted to talk to you about, talking to you about the 2 ways to get into Atlas, either from starting a career directly with us or going into the global internship program. Starting a career with us either as a white collar position or corporate position, or starting in technician work. Either one of those. Thinking about how Atlas can help you plan your career, which is something a little bit different, especially with a large company. You don't always see that, which is, again, just another shout out to their focus on their employees and taking care of them. And then talking about the best types of fit with Atlas, having a little bit of mechanical aptitude, or if that's something that interests you, that's definitely something we can roll with. Someone who is also customer focused is a huge part for Atlas. We work very closely with our customers. So taking care of our employees so they can take care of the customers is what we're focused on. And then just highlighted some of those benefits there for you that could be beneficial now and then coming into the future as you get further into your career. So I appreciate the time that you've all taken out of your day, and I hope this helps a little bit figure out next steps for your career. And after this, I think we're going to head back over to Will, and he's going to get into some of our tools.
That's right. Thank you, Lauren. All right. I think I'm sharing my screen again. I think. Can you see my screen?
I can just see a white screen right now, Will.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing too. Hold on. Let's give this another try. There we go. All right. Thank you, Lauren. That was awesome. I'm like excited to work at Atlas Copco after hearing that. That was great. And I mean, I can say from experience, to piggyback on what Lauren said, really is a great place to work. I've been here for 14 years. I've been able to work my way up, and everything that Lauren said about the company and the way that we treat our employees is accurate. You know, we try to give people the room to work while making sure they have the support they need. So I'm going to talk about our tools now and some of the products that we sell. But before we do that, I wanted to take a couple of minutes and talk about our customers and what our customers are doing, and because that kind of influences the products that we're selling them. So this got mentioned a few times in the introductions that you know, factories today are much different than they were 10 or I mean even 5 or 10 or certainly 20 years ago. And you know, you can see the title on the slide here is The Road to the Smart Factory, and that's really what it's all about now for our customers, is this idea of creating a smart networked factory, right? And so if we talk about a smart factory, what does that mean? It means there's a lot more automation in factories, right, or factories now than there were even a couple of years ago, really. And you know, the automation in many cases is not replacing people, but it's doing the stuff that people don't really want to do. So you can see the 3 Ds there: automating dull, so super boring and repetitive; dirty, which is self-explanatory; and dangerous tasks that it would, you know, that people don't really want to do. We can automate those so that people can focus on the stuff that is really important, where a person is better at these type of tasks than a robot is, and can add a lot of value to their company that way. And so, you know, if you look at the top there, with all this automation now, we're connecting a lot of what our tools are doing now are connecting people to the machines, and then sometimes connecting the machines to each other, so that, you know, they're able to interface with each other the way that they need to get all this automated tasks done. So that means that now there's a lot more software involved. There's a lot more programming type of work being done, in addition to all the mechanical, literally nuts and bolts that we're working with. All these smart factories make it easier for our customers to change stuff if they need to adjust, if they have a new if they have a new model coming down the line, it's easier to change the line now than it was certainly 5 years ago to accommodate that and to change what you're building on the fly. And then with all of the smart equipment in a factory, there's a lot more data available to customers. So they're using that data to make decisions now, and they're analyzing the data and breaking it down to figure out what they should do next. If we look at the smart factory though, it's really like a bunch of little factories within a big factory. So we have maintenance operations, we have manual operations where there's still a person holding a tool. There's automated operations now that I was just talking about where now it's a robot using the tool. And then there's quality processes as well. So I wanted to talk about each one of those. And you know, as our customers are building up to this smart factory, they're really following a few different steps. So it starts with the tools, using smart tools that are able to connect to other things. For us, at least in assembly, it starts with the tools that are able to connect to other things, talk to other pieces of equipment in the organization. Then it goes to helping the operator do their job better, right? And giving them the guidance that they need to be able to do that. And then from there, we start looking at software to connect all of these different systems together throughout the factory. And then kind of the dream, the smart factory dream is that not just the factory itself is connected, but then that factory is connected to other factories, and the whole factories are able to talk to each other. We're able to share data back and forth to make the entire production process much more efficient and streamlined. So now I'm gonna stop sharing if I can figure out how to do that. There we go. Oh, I did stop sharing. Okay, so I'm good now. So now we're gonna we're gonna look at some of the tools. So we're gonna try to not drop the computer while we're doing this, but we're gonna start over here with some of our tools. And you know, if we talk about our tools, let me turn around so everyone can hear me. If we talk about our tools, and I said, you know, the tools that we sell are basically screwdrivers. The screwdrivers that we sell look something along the lines of this, right? So a little bit different than the screwdriver that you have out in your garage, but does the same thing. So you can see here, this tool has a socket on it that's going to connect to a bolt. Move this out of the way. And am I in reverse? I'm in reverse. And it's going to run that bolt down. And if you go into a car factory, for example, around here in Detroit, you'll see hundreds of these on every assembly line with people using them to put together every single piece of the car. And so you can see here, we've got, this is called right angle version. We have inline versions for different operations. And then over here, oh, here, hang on, pull this off. Really big versions for bigger bolts. These would be used in a different industry, like maybe a company like Caterpillar would use something like this to put together an excavator instead of putting together a car. But bigger tools for bigger bolts. And when we talk about smart factories, this is where it really starts for us, right? So this is the tool that has the intelligence. You can see it's connected with a cable to a computer here, basically. We call it a tool controller. And these tools have the intelligence to make sure that every bolt is being assembled correctly, right? So that it can track, you know, how fast the tool's running, how much torque it's putting on the bolt. It can tell it when to shut off, when to speed up, when to slow down. And we can control all that with a tool like this. And then once we assemble the bolt, then we have a record that it got done correctly. We have the data, right? So then if something fails later on, we can go back and look at the data and figure out what happened and make sure that it doesn't happen again. So this is really kind of the foundation of our smart factory that we were talking about and this change in factories that we're seeing. Okay, we're on the move now. We're gonna go this way. And I wanted to talk about this next. And so there's a couple of things I wanted to talk about here. First of all, one of the other things that we're seeing, I was talking about flexible operations, is now a lot of our tools, they don't even have cables on them anymore. Most of our tools are going to a battery configuration like this. So instead of a cable connecting the tool to the controller and giving it power, now we just have a battery giving the tool power, and it connects by Bluetooth, just like your headphones would connect to your phone. same principle basically. And every time we run one of these screws down, now the data gets transmitted by Bluetooth, and we're still saving it all. We still have the record that we did, but now it's all wireless, which makes it easier for the people holding the tools to move around and makes it easier for us to move the tools around the plant if we need to change something. The other thing that's on the screen here is, I mentioned this before, the next step, once we get away from the tools, the next step in the smart factory is making sure the operator is doing the job right. And there's a couple things we can look at to do that. And this is where we start to get away from hardware and get more into software, right? And what you see on the screen here is our operator guidance software. So this is software that we provide to our customers, goes in the factory, can go in every station. So when an operator is working, not only do they have a tool that's making sure they get it done right, but now they have instructions right in front of them on the screen telling them the operation that they should be doing next. And this makes it super easy for them to not mess up, really, and just make sure that they're doing the job correctly. And so, Lauren was talking about what we need at Atlas Copco and the types of people that we need. And, we are seeing, well, it's changing. We still need people, like Lauren mentioned, with the mechanical aptitude and the tinkerers that she was talking about, and people who really understand the way things are put together and the way things work, because we're still selling the tools. But now on top of that, we need people with interest in stuff like software and networking and stuff like that, because now we have all this software we're providing to our customers, and our software is talking to other systems that are running in customers' plants, and we need people who understand how that works, so we can make it work at our customers. The last thing that I wanted, don't want to break anything. I'll get in trouble if I do that. But the last thing I wanted to show you guys is over here, and there's actually a couple of things over here. And the first thing here is we are talking about making sure the operator is doing the job right. So one thing that we can do is give them instructions on a screen, but then the other thing that we can do is actually make equipment that won't let our tools work if they try to do it wrong. So you're gonna have to move the camera around. So up here, above the station, we have this box, and inside that box is a camera system, basically. And that camera system tracks the position of our tool. We have a tag on this tool, so then as we move the tool around, the camera's watching the tool. And we can program that camera to look at the part that we're running here and make sure that we're running the bolts in the correct sequence and that we're not doing things out of order. This is another way that our customers are implementing smart assembly practices and intelligent assembly practices and some basic automation to make sure that jobs are being done correctly on the plant floor. I mean, with an electric tool, we can do this, where if it's in position, the camera says, okay, great, my tool's in position, now it can run, and it sends a signal to our tool to let it run. Once it goes out of position, then that signal goes away, and now our tool doesn't operate anymore. So this is another way that we can control the process and make sure that it's running correctly. Last thing is over here. We're a little behind the thing here. The pillar brakes on. Okay, so this is the last thing I wanted to talk about, and this is actually our quality control bench. So to give you another sense of all of the different things that we do at Atlas Copco, I've talked a lot about tools that we use on the plant floor. This bench here is actually a quality control device that's used to make sure that the tools on the plant floor are running correctly, right? So this is, you can see all these different test devices on here. We would use this, we would take a tool and put it on, and we would test it with this bench to make sure that it's running to the correct torque, that it's running at the right speed, that it's doing what we expect it to do. And then we can take those tools and put them out onto the plant floor and be sure that they're working correctly. This is another great example of different roles that we have within our organization as well. This is, again, another skill set. The people that we need to do this, they have a little bit of a different skill set. This is also an example of a type of product that our service technicians would use. we provide these benches to our customers. They can use them themselves to check our tools, but we also have benches like these in our service shops and our calibration labs. And we take smaller versions of this, portable versions of products like this out into the field. Our technicians do, and they visit, all of our different customers and do the calibrations and the tool checks that need to be done at our customers. So good example of a tool that gets used throughout our organization by a lot of different people. That's everything that I wanted to show you guys. Usually it goes faster than I think it does because I get really excited and I talk really fast. But hopefully that gives you a sense of some of the products that we provide and some of the things that we do for our customers. And yeah, I mean, like Lauren said, if you have any questions about the way that Atlas Copco works, we hope that you reach out to us and investigate further.
Perfect. Thank you so much. At this time, we do want to open it up for questions. So those of you that are on the call, there's quite a few on here. I know I see Mr. Weber on the call too, so I'm sure he's got a class there on. So if you have a question, please raise your hand virtually, and then we will unmute you and let you ask some questions. Okay, I think I saw Nathaniel raise his hand, and then he put it away.
You always need somebody to get the ball rolling.
And if not, I have some questions too, so I can get them started. Okay, let's see. Any questions? None so far? Okay, so let's get us started with, I'll go ahead and get us started. So what do you see as the future of advanced manufacturing in Oakland County and the region?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. It seems really exciting. I mean, this is, if you look at what our customers are doing, and this got mentioned, I mentioned it, it got mentioned in the intro. I mean, we're seeing manufacturing changing so much right now, and a lot of it is happening here in Oakland County. I mean, if you look at what our customers are doing and the way that they are transforming at a very, very rapid rate, it's incredible. And they're investing in new technology. For us, it's exciting because they're investing in new technology to manufacture better, right? And new ways to make stuff better. But that's driven by investment in new vehicle technology, right? The electric, I mean, we're seeing just a surge of new electric vehicle lines go in. And, with all of these changes and all these new technologies brings a lot of opportunity for everybody. So it's really exciting for me. I don't know if Lauren has anything to add. I didn't mean to steal your thunder, Lauren.
Okay, great, thank you. What about, so Will, you're the, I'm trying to remember your title.
I'm the
marketing director, right? And so could you share your career path, how you kind of, where you got started and how you moved up and got to where you are today? Yeah. Maybe some of the courses that you took in school. Perfect. Yeah, maybe some of the courses you took in high school and then college, or the training that you received and how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, sure. So my career path, I was a business major in college. So out of high school, I went straight to college, and I was a business major there. And I got into product management when I graduated from college, and I had no idea what that meant or what a product manager did, but I thought I wanted to work in marketing, so I got a job being a product manager. And after about 3 years of doing that for another company, I joined Atlas Copco, the Atlas Copco group, and I started here as a product manager as well. And what it means to be a product manager is to really be the technical expert for your products and understand them better than anybody else understands them, so that if something doesn't work right, we can figure out how to fix it. And then if our salespeople are trying to sell something, we can help them do it and explain, the technical aspects of our products to our customers. And so for me, it was a little bit of a challenge because I didn't have a very technical background, and that was something I really had to learn. If you look at our product marketing group right now, it's a real mix. There's people like me who have this, more kind of business marketing background, and then we have a bunch of people with with engineering backgrounds. We have people who've come out of our service organization and joined our marketing team when they're looking for a new challenge. We have a real mix of people in our organization. So I started as a product manager or product specialist, then a product manager. And then this is another cool thing about Atlas Copco. I had an opportunity to move into sales. I worked in sales for a while, and actually I didn't even work in sales here. I moved to Canada and worked in sales in Canada, and then I came back here for this job. So it's been a great experience here. I've been able to move around. I've been able to try some different things, and I've been able to find something to do that I really love, which I appreciate a lot.
Awesome, thank you for that. And we do have a question from one of our teachers in South Line, so I'm going to unmute him. Is it working? Why is it not letting me? Oh, it's self-muted. There we go. Okay, go ahead. Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, so the question is, for the different jobs and occupations at your company, what is the level of training or college required, and what is the pay scale for those jobs? Give us some examples. You don't have to do all of them, just give some examples.
Oh, the hot questions. Okay, so there are levels of training that you need. If you're going into a corporate position, generally they expect that you probably have a degree, or like Will said, have work experience with us, just so you know the basics of the position and you know what you're getting into. You can certainly, like I was saying, start positions honestly right out of high school. That would be our technician positions. And you can also, as I mentioned, move from those technician positions to the corporate positions if that's something you'd like to do. So our work experience with Atlas is probably just as valuable as a degree. Just with how much you can learn on the job, really, especially with the hands-on work that you can do. Pay scales for these. So pay for a position right out of high school probably is going to start just over 40,000. So that's about $20 an hour. Pay starting with a degree it completely varies because it depends what career you're going into. Are you going into human resources, which a lot of the times we do it just for the love of it? Are you going into sales where you have, you know, a ton of potential to really make what you're looking for? If you're looking for I'm all about money, I'm super entrepreneurial, sales is probably a great field for you, and you're probably going to start 80K plus. So that's an option, and that's an option again that can be, you can start from technician positions, or you can start after you get a degree.
Excellent, thank you so much, Lauren. Lauren, can you kind of answer the same question that Will kind of spoke about before this question, just to kind of talk about your career path and how you got to where you are today? I know that's always interesting for students to hear.
Absolutely, and I like to talk about my career a little bit before Atlas because it gave me so much of an appreciation for a large company doing things right by their employees. So I had started with another large global company when I started my career. I went to school for psychology actually, and then went to grad school for industrial organizational psychology. So that's workplace efficiency, worker morale, training, and I ended up getting into recruiting from there. So I was in technical recruiting for a large company. I had suggested a few ideas. They weren't going anywhere, which isn't the biggest deal. The bigger thing was they were just getting lost into the ether. And it was disheartening in some ways to feel like you're not making the impact when you're so hungry to be a part of the company and working towards something great. So I started to feel kind of like a cog in the machine. So I lived in Ohio. I moved to Michigan. I found a position here with Art Van Furniture, which I loved. Started as, you know, a family-owned company. They were just in the Midwest, so they were a little bit smaller, more localized. And then I was their recruiter, their technical recruiter, and then I took over all of their recruiting. And like I said, love that company. Really felt like you had an impact, you had a say, people knew who you were, that kind of thing. So as many of you might know, Art Van didn't continue. They filed for bankruptcy, so I was looking for a new position, and I found Atlas. And honestly, because Atlas is industrial tooling, and that happens to be one of my hobbies, although I didn't know about it. So I didn't know about Atlas. We do a lot of B2B, so people might not have heard of us as much as you've heard of someone who might sell a consumer product. So I hadn't heard about Atlas, but the first thing I did, which you always have to take with a grain of salt, was I got on Glassdoor and saw what their company reviews were. And I was blown away. I've never seen a company, it was 4 or just above 4 stars. I've never seen that from any company, because most of us get on Glassdoor to just vent about our feelings sometimes. So I had not seen that. I thought that was amazing. I had my interview and ended up joining the team as the HR business partner for recruiting here. So that was March 2020. So started right at the beginning of the pandemic craziness. Did all of my learning and onboarding virtually. And for that to all happen virtually when it was set for an in-person setting, and for it to be what I would say is near seamless and very well done, it made me feel confident in Atlas from the start. So, and then I started to see more things where I was being asked for my opinion and my professional experience, overseeing recruiting as the person who works in it day in and day out. And I was being asked by our business line leaders, by our general manager who oversees all of tooling and assembly. So that was amazing to hear that they're actually talking to the people who are doing the work. That was a lot different than what I had seen. I'd seen some of it at Art Van, especially because they were smaller and just more connected. But to see that was a big change. And I've seen that happen countless times. So HR continues to visit sites, to talk to employees who are out in the positions, of course, talk to our corporate employees, even if that's just passing by, and really taking their feedback and working on it for the next step. So I've completed over a handful of projects where it came directly from the employees. I mean, everything from we're revamping uniforms that they don't like and they don't want to wear all day, to we're revamping our seniority levels and our pay structures, which has been amazing. So just a lot of great things that I've seen in this year and a half or so, which, as we see in the job market, is about the time that people say, I either want to stay with this company or I need to head somewhere else. Is about that 18 months. And I definitely know that I'll be staying here probably as long as they'll have me. So that's been my experience.
Excellent. Thank you so much. The next question we have from a student. So I think it's a student. Christina, I'm going to unmute you. You may have to unmute yourself as well. Let's see.
Oh, can you hear me now? I'm actually a counselor over at Berkeley.
Oh, excellent. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
But we wanted to know, we have a group of us here tuning in, and wanted to know if you could talk a little bit more about some of the hands-on experiences and opportunities. You talked a little bit about software and the computer automated side of it, but can you talk a little bit more about the tinkering and maybe some of the hands-on things at your company?
Absolutely. So I can take this. This is going to be, when I'm thinking hands-on, I'm thinking our service subdivision. So our salespeople go out and they sell to 3 main industries: energy and metal fabrication, motor vehicle industry, and then general industry, our catch-all for the rest of them, the John Deeres, the Caterpillars, like Will was saying. and then we sell our service contracts with our tools. So a lot of those positions could start out in that service industry, and you're doing things similar to the tools that Will was showing. You're doing calibrations, you're working with our different tools. You might be doing preventative maintenance on our tools. You might be doing line calls in a facility and diagnosing problems. And this could be, I'm saying tools, but it could be tools, it could be our controllers, which are the software and different aspects there. And then tool fix. So if you have that mechanical aptitude and you're taking things apart and tinkering with them, putting them back together, like I mentioned, building computers is huge right now and something that has a lot of transferable skills to what we do with servers, networks, databases, software, hardware. If you're doing any of that, that would be a great place to start in the service industry. So you can start, starting with our tools, which are our bread and butter, is going to be leaps and bounds, beyond what you might learn from just reading or studying or something like that, because it's very specific. It's our Atlas specific tools with our Atlas specific training to go with those and walk you through. Okay, so you've used a screwdriver. Okay, here's a torque or screwdriver wrench. Here's a torque wrench. Here's a nut runner. And walk you through the different steps. The nut runner is going to have multiple, say, torque wrenches that would put in all the bolts at one time. So, just being able to move through and see those different products and really having it click in your brain that way, the service industry is amazing for that with us.
Yeah. Can I add on to that? I guess I'm just repeating what Lauren said, but if you are a person who likes to take things apart and put them back together, service is a great place to start. But what I wanted to add is that service also, it's a great foundation to jump into another part of our organization as well, because you know so much about our products at that point. And we have service technicians who stay in service. We have service technicians. We just hired one of our service technicians into my team as a product manager. We have service technicians who get into sales. It's a great place to start, and then kind of get the lay of the land, learn our product, and then if there's something else that appeals to somebody, there's always an opportunity to jump over to another part of the business from there.
Excellent, thank you. It looks like we have another question from Ron Weber. So Ron, I'm going to try to unmute you, and I think you have to do it yourself as well. There we go.
Okay, so the question is, how could a graduating high school student be able to get like an internship or get in at a level? And what ages or what is the lowest age that you would hire people into your company?
That's a good question about the lowest age. I have only hired 18 plus. That's not to say we couldn't hire someone younger than that. And that's in our full-time positions. Our internships are a little bit more flexible there. The internship, to get in with the internship, those are posted, those are summer internships. So we just actually wrapped up our internship program. So those will be posted the same with our regular job postings on our careers page. Those would be posted probably next April. But again, I can share my contact information with you all. And if you have any questions about when something's coming up, or as I mentioned, career paths and things like that, you can certainly get in touch with me. So I don't know if there's a way. Oh, I can just type it into the chat. I'll type in my email here. And I think that answers both parts of your questions, but call me out if I didn't.
Excellent, thank you. We have time for one more quick question, so I'm gonna just give it a few seconds to see if anybody else has a quick question they would like to ask. And if
All these questions have been great.
Yeah, very good questions, everybody. Excellent. Okay, it looks like we don't have any more questions, and thank you, Lauren, for putting your information there in the chat. So at this time, I think we're gonna take our session to a close. So first of all, thank you to all the students and teachers who joined us today for Oakland County's Virtual Manufacturing Day. We're very excited that you were able to join us on this call. Again, it was virtual this year. We're hoping at some point we'll get back to doing these sessions in person. Also, a huge thank you to Atlas Copco and specifically Will Palumbo and Lauren Farmer for their commitment to this event and helping us put this event off virtually. Obviously, without you guys, it would be impossible to do this. So thank you so much for opening up your doors and allowing us to join you and learn more about what your company has to offer. We also want to say thank you to our partners, so Oakland Schools, who coordinated the attendance for this event, and also Oakland Community College. And Oakland Community College has several degree and certificate programs that relate to these areas and these careers that we heard about today. And it's a great way to earn a credential that can lead you on the path to one of these amazing careers. So there are a few handouts or that you see that you can access from this webinar. So feel free to click on them and take a look at them. And please be sure to check those out. Regarding this session, right as soon as the session closes, you will be receiving a brief survey on Manufacturing Day. Please complete it because obviously we value your feedback and it helps us make these events even better for the future. If you are broadcasting this session to a class, you will also receive a separate survey in an email so everybody in your class can share that same link. You can share that link with that entire class and everybody can take that for everybody that was on the call. Again, just a reminder, please visit our website at www.oakgov/manufacturing day. So let me spell that out, www.oakgov.com/MFGDay to view the session again, as well as to even see some of the other sessions that you weren't able to see today. So you'll be able to see some of the other recorded sessions. So for now, this concludes our event. We're again thankful for all of your participation, and we hope to see you again next year. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.